Dear viewers, this is a new episode, new version of Evans Echo from Sudanese Echo platform. This is a weekly episode. This week we are going to go over many topics, maybe 2 or 3, which is, I think, very important in this week. The first one is the meeting of the Sovereignty Council regarding many topics in the country, and the second issue we are going to tackle the granted meeting which held in Al Alamein in Egypt regarding establishing peace in Sudan. The Sovereignty Council held its meeting this week, headed by General Abdel Fattah al-Burhan, the President of the Council, for discussing many topics. The economic issue is always there, security issue, the operation, the military situation, and also the Sudanese dialogue, which have been proposed since 1 month before, in order to hold a meeting with the political and social gathering and forces in Sudan. The meeting go over the economic situations, and the situation is deteriorating, the economic situation, because there is a deterioration remarkable in the question of the exchange of money and also the very high price of many things. This comes as a result of the coordination and the cooperation with other parties in order to arrange the questions of the fuel and the exportation of petrol and other fuel products. The economic situation have been discussed in this area because the Sudanese Bank and also the Ministry of Finance and the Prime Minister Kamil Idris have already passed some decision, but it needs a sort of implementation. The security-wise is because there is what do we call the security breaches and incidents which have come lately in Sudan regarding some of violations by some militaries in areas. And the question also of drug trafficking, one of the topics which have passed in Jazeera, in the central region, and there is many casualties as a result of this competition. The security hazard must be touched by the question that those who are port arms now from the joint military must be outside the capital. This decision have been taken before many times, but there is no implementation and exercising in the practical meeting. I think also the question of the inside dialogue between the different parties in Sudan have been one of the topics which have been discussed by the Sovereignty Council. Some of them think that this is not a time for speaking about dialogue inside Sudan. Others think that the military operation and the political dialogue can go parallel. And I think also the idea of holding a dialogue inside Sudan, this must be always there, because the political party must have played a very important role in the political arena, as the military have doing their job outside in the operation. The parallel work of this military and political, and also through the direct contact with many international and regional organizations, can be put in the same way. So the Sovereignty Council in this meeting, I think, point of view that discuss something which can be discussed in the government, the executive body by Dr. Kamil Idris, because the question of the economic and security and also the dialogue between many political parties and social parties, all this as a work of the executive body, the Prime Minister Kamil Idris. I think there is a coordination between Sovereignty Council at the head and also the Prime Minister Dr. Kamil Idris in order to implement and execute all these declarations and decisions. One of the defects of all these meetings, I think, the body, the tools, the instrument of the implementation of all the recommendations, because the question of the economic and the questions of the exchange of money, the exportation and importation, all these topics have been discussed and many decisions have been taken, but there is no instrument for the implementation. The Sovereignty Council must put a body, an organ, an instrument to implement these decisions and also to put a timeline for the implementation of the decision which have been taken. The second issue is the very important meeting, I think, this week in Al Alamein in Egypt. This is by the United States of America, represented by the envoy, Musa'ad Polis, and also the Republic of Turkey, Egypt, and Saudi Arabia. For the first time, the participation of Sudan by the Minister of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation, Ambassador Mahyiddin Salim. If we go over the topics discussed in this meeting, we cannot find any new topic which have been raised, because the same topic is the mediation of this country in order to help, to support in establishing peace in Sudan, to stop war, and also to help to push out all these rebels and militias from the area which have been colonized by them. The initiatives have been taken before this time have raised the same topic, and what we call the Quantity Committee and the Quartet Committee have discussed the same, and the government of Sudan have an idea and have a point of view of all these meetings. But this time, as far as Sudan have participated in this meeting, this can push forward what Sudan thinks really. And I think if Turkey and Egypt, Saudi Arabia, and the United States of America envoy want to help Sudan, they have to start with the stopping of the influx of arms and mercenaries inside Sudan. Second thing is to help for the withdrawal of all these rebels from the area which have been colonized. And second thing is to help in the area of helping of the dialogue inside Sudan with the components of Sudan in order to go over the problem, the political problem, with the military problem can be raised together. This is, I think, what must be weighted from what have been held in Egypt in the initiative of the four parties. Ladies and gentlemen, dear viewers, this is the end of our Events Echo from Sudanese Echo platform for this week. We can see each other in the coming week with a new topic. Goodbye.